Hi everyone, this is Tammy at Snowstorm Crafts, and today we are going to be working on more ways to alter magazine pages. And if you could please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you guys can see my next video when I post it. Like, comment, and share, and let's grow together. All right, so I'm going to answer some questions from another video that I had, or that I have, and it's called How to Take the Shine Out of Magazine and Book Pages. And I have a bunch of questions, just different things I'll answer and touch those subjects. And we will just go from there. And I'll probably do some of this in a time lapse just so it's not dragging on and stuff. And then we'll look at all the end results and see how everything turned out. Okay, so I got everything labeled here. So the first one that somebody asked me on my other video is, I wonder if, because the Mod Podge that I have is a gloss luster, and I don't have a matte, so you could see the shine on everything. So that's the point today, is to kind of take the shine out of stuff, or out of the magazine pages. And this one is a gloss luster, and that's just what I've had, and I had it forever, and just I don't have a matte one. So someone asked me if they think if I could do baby powder mixture with the Mod Podge, and that might help. So I like that idea, so let's try it. Okay, so that's the first one we're gonna do, and I'm gonna try to keep these labeled so we know what is what. Okay, so I'm gonna just take this, and I put MP baby powder, so Mod Podge and baby powder. You need an airtight container, just something airtight. And I'm just gonna measure this with you guys, and we'll see what we got here. So I got a tablespoon, and then I got a teaspoon, okay? And then I just got my baby powder here, and it's just baby powder. And a lot of people were saying the baby powder is bad because it has talc in it, and the newer stuff does not. It's mainly cornstarch, or you can use cornstarch if you feel more comfortable with that. But the newer stuff does not have the talc in it anymore. So it even says right here, pure cornstarch. So it's pretty much cornstarch, scented cornstarch, if you will. Okay, so that answers that question. And I'm just gonna take some Mod Podge here. And I'm just kind of measuring this with you guys, and we'll see where we're at here. So I'm gonna, oh my goodness, I should just take this all the way out. I always think I need to keep that on there to keep it fresh, but I'll just take it off. Okay, what we're gonna do, and another thing to keep in your craft room is a wet wipe. They're great. They come in so handy. Okay, so let's try to measure here. Let's do, not much of a measurer, but let's do it. Whew. Just, we don't need much. So let's just go ahead and do a tablespoon. Okay. All right. And that's still good to keep in that too. And then I'm just gonna do a teaspoon. Let me go grab that half a teaspoon. I'll be right back. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and do two. Let's do 2 tablespoons. I don't know why there's a big chunk in there. That can't be good. Okay, so 2 tablespoons, because this is gonna be an airtight container, so it'll last. Okay, and then I went and got a half teaspoon. So let's do a half a teaspoon here. And let's experiment, you know? Oh my goodness, that's not gonna come off. I thought there was a way to pop that lid off, but, well, this could be trickier than I thought. Let's do this. I mean, how do you measure? There. I can't get the lid off. That would have been easier, huh? Okay, we're gonna roughly here, because I'm gonna use some that fell on the napkin too. Okay, so let's say half a teaspoon here. And then this should take the luster out of it. The gloss, at least, I mean. All right. Making misses, making misses. Whew. Good thing it's just cornstarch. All right, so now let's go ahead and get what paintbrush we want to use here. I'm just gonna mix it up. Mix it up. And I'm not gonna add water or anything to it. I think I'm just gonna do the baby powder just to take the shine out of everything. And we got our little mixture here, and I did just brush strokes up and down and just kept it directional because I didn't want to go all over the place, because you can kind of see the way that the pattern goes when you do that. So I want to show you guys again. This is Mod Podge Gloss Luster, and I wanted to put baby powder and try it out. So let's see if it takes off the shine. And that's it. So now I'm gonna go set this over to the side and let it dry. Nope, change of plans. I forgot I had the acrylic. So the next one that we're gonna do, that is a fun way to decorate a magazine page, is acrylic paints, and then you can add stencils on top. So, and I'm gonna try to do this so it's not a long, tedious video, and I'll do time lapse throughout, like I said. And this is just a Mars Black. So I'm just gonna cover all this up and just paint it on. Okay, as you can see, I started off with the sponge paintbrush, and that wasn't working too well, so I just went ahead and grabbed my regular paintbrush here, just a bristle brush. And I just painted just a section right here, and now I'm gonna take both of this and just go lay it over there to dry until this dries, and then we'll do a stencil on top of it. We'll come back to it. So I'm gonna go do that. Is the big question that everybody had, and I just kind of guesstimate all the time my measurements, and I just do things until they work, so I don't really have a precise thing, but I do have a measurement for everybody, and it is for it's glue, either school glue, Elmer's glue, any kind of glue like that will work. And I take glue, right? Baby powder or cornstarch, and wow, I just made that go everywhere, and water. Okay, and I have a measurement. You could take a bowl, you could take a bigger bowl, and it's pretty much a clear gesso is what it's called. And you could buy clear gesso, and it would do the same thing. And but if you want to make your own, it is and I wrote it down, it is a half a cup of like the Elmer's glue or white glue, a 1/4 cup of baby powder or cornstarch, and a 1/4 cup of water. And then you mix it all up in a bowl, and then you put it in an airtight container, and there you go. And then when you have it in your container, the powder will settle. So if you haven't used it for a while, so just take it and make sure you shake it up. And what this does is it takes the shine out of magazine pages and book pages, like shiny, like book pages, like gardening books and stuff like that. Okay, so just go ahead. So hope that helps. That's the measurements. And let's see. We'll go ahead and do this real quick. So I'm gonna just move this up out of the way. Let's go like that. Okay, so that's the mixture that's in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just do this whole page, and then we will see the end results at the end. So I just painted all along, and I'm just doing the same direction, and I'm kind of curious what happens when it's wet if I sprinkle a little baby powder on it. just to experiment here, and then we'll let it dry. Let's see. Just do a little bit. Maybe just do a little sprinkle, and then we'll just let it dry and see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, so now I'm gonna take it and move it over to the side, let it dry, and we'll move to the next. All right, so you also need like a jar of water, which is nice, and it's nice to have a napkin beside you, so like you can blot if you need to, or, you know, get it all blotted. So that's nice to have here too. And then of course, you know, your little wet wipe. All right. And what I'm going to do next is we're going to do tea bags, tissue paper, and pattern paper. And we're just going to we're going to decoupage it on top. And I'm just going to use the glue water baby powder solution that we did. You could do just watered down glue if you want, you know, if you want to. You don't have to have the baby powder in it. So I just have it and it's ready, and that's what I'm going to do for the top of it here. Okay, so what I got is tea bags. I keep all my tea bags. And my husband and I drink chamomile tea, so it doesn't really have a color to it. It's not like a dark tea or anything. So I take avocado skins and boil them. And about an hour or so, you just boil them on the stovetop with the pits and everything in it with a bunch of water. And then I just sift it through and pour it into a roasting pan, and I just dye my papers with it and tea bags. And you can do the same thing with onion skins, and I love to do that too. So some of these are onion skin dyed, but that's what I do with my tea bags. So those are tea bags. And this is just the pattern paper that you can get, like the McCall's or Buttericks, or I just got glue on that. So just the pattern stuff you can get. And I got this at Goodwill for like 10 cents. So I mean, you can get a bunch. So this stuff's nice. It's like tissue paper. And then tissue paper, just regular like dollar store tissue paper. And I spritz it with my RIT dye that I have. It's a, here, I'll go grab it for you and show you. All right, so this is RIT dye. And I use it for tie-dyeing my banner flags in my Etsy shop and my party favor bags. I have rainbow party favor bags that are stretchy and lycra, and they're cute and different sizes. But anyway, so those are my Etsy shop too, and I use the RIT dye for it. And this is also used for dyeing like clothes and stuff. So what I do is just take like maybe and it's a liquid. It's just a liquid, and then you could pour it in there. And I do like maybe depending on what you're putting it in. You don't need much, just like maybe a half a lid. And then you can put it in a spritz bottle or however you want it. Okay, and then I take it and just spritz it. So that's tissue paper here. And I'm gonna just take this, tear pieces off of it all. And I'm gonna put them all just on one here, just to show for example. So I'm gonna take my mixture here, and I'm gonna put it down first where I want. Let's do sections here. Okay, I'll just show you guys real quick. And then you can just rip off a piece here. And you can go off the page too. Doesn't matter. And then you just do that. And you do the same thing with all of them. You just put down some glue on the bottom and then just go over the top with it. Just like that. And you can see how it just ages everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that in the time lapse. All right, so we got all that done, and as you can see, it turns out really cool. I mean, it's all shiny now because it's all wet, but as you can see here, just like that. It's just really neat. It's got a cool texture, and you just make sure all the air bubbles are out from underneath it and stuff. And even, I love the creases in it, just like that. And then we could do some fun things after this dries, and I'll show you guys different techniques, but it just ages it and just gives it a lot of depth and character. It kind of looks leathery. It's so much fun. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this to the side and we'll move to the next. Did this technique on the other video that I'll post down below, the link, I'll put it down below. And I did this and it turned out really cool, but it was Mod Podge by itself. It was just the gloss luster. I just used this by itself. So on this video, I want to show you guys how to do the Mod Podge with the baby powder in it and a napkin over the top. And I loved the effect so much. I thought it was so cool, but I want to see what it looks like with the baby powder in it. So let's do it. So, okay, what I got here is just a standard napkin, cheapo, 1-ply. You don't even have to peel it. I mean, it's just a 1-ply, just napkin. Okay. And I'm going to take the baby powder. Just make sure you shake it. Just get it mixed up. And I'm going to do the Mod Podge baby powder mix that we did at the beginning here. And I'm going to do just the same technique as we did with the tea bags and stuff. Just put down first, put it on top, and then do it over, paint over the top of it. So I got it all done here. And just trying to grab it here. I think it turned out really cool. So it looks really blurry and you're like, what? That is horrible. But when it, and if it dries the same way as just the Mod Podge by itself, it is awesome. And I'm just wondering with the baby powder in it, if it'll just, I have no idea how it'll look. We'll just have to check at the end. But this was my favorite technique on the video. I'll post down below the link. And it was just the Mod Podge and the napkin. So, I mean, you don't even have to put the baby powder, and it turns out cool. But I was just curious, so we'll do a little experiment. And it should dry clear, I hope. Okay, we'll move on to the next. Okay, so this I've been wanting to try. It's, you just take nail polish remover, and it has acetone in it. So just, I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but just get the nail polish remover. Do a rag or an old t-shirt. And maybe not a napkin, because I think all the particles will come off on it and make it all just the, you know, the little bits of the napkin. But just take it, and I poured it in here, and just dip it, and then rub it on your magazine image, and see how it's taking off the color. So just keep doing that, and just get all the color wherever you want it off. And just be careful, because it gets thin here too. So just rub off wherever you want the color off. And the darker the better, you know, the image. So just get all that off of it. And I'm just gonna let it dry and keep rubbing it off. Okay. As you can see that it took the color, well, I mean, it just made the color muted there, and you can see the lighter spots. And I'm gonna take it outside because it's kind of stinky with the nail polish remover. So make sure you like open a window or something, or do this outside would probably be a good idea. And I'm gonna leave it out there and let it dry, and then we will stencil over the top of it, do some stenciling. So we have the Mod Podge Luster Gloss with baby powder. So this one is dry now. I'll show you this. So with the baby powder, you could still see shine. But, I don't know, because this is without the baby powder. And that's just the Gloss Luster Mod Podge by itself. So that's really shiny. That, like, you know, that made it shiny right there. And, this one, I guess, didn't really make too big of a difference. So, I don't know. You could be the judge. Maybe add more baby powder to it, and that might solve it, but I don't know. We'll just do, maybe just the matte Mod Podge would be the best to do that. I'll have to get some. Okay. So, there's that, and then we got the acrylic paint that we put and just painted everything, and it's nice and dry now. So what I want to do is I want to take my gesso. I just have regular Liquitex basic acrylic gesso, and or you could do white. You could do white acrylic paint, anything like that. And I'm going to take a stencil. Okay, and do the word dream. I think that'd be fun. So this is the point, is to go ahead and do, you know, a dark background, and then you could do a stencil on top, which I'm going to use the white, and I think that'll look great. Just to do a little decoration here. And I love these stenciling paintbrushes. It's nice. They're round and have a flat just top on it. And they're nice to stencil with. And you can go like this and just blot it on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do this in time lapse and get it all the stencils on top. We'll see what it looks like. So I went ahead and stenciled, and when I got the white on top of it, I just took it off and then smashed it down and did it backwards. I thought that would be fun. That's kind of fun. Okay, and what I want to try to do here, and I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it. I got the antique linen and then the crackling campfire oxides. And I kind of want to see what will happen here. I should have been ready for this part. Let me grab my, there we go. I think that one will work. I'll switch these around. Just my little dauber here. Okay. So let's see. I mean, it might show up. So I'm just going to do the antique linen. And if you need to, this helps a lot if you just do a little spritz of water. That'll help get some more stuff flowing here. There we go. So that's cool. So that's why it's fun to do like a dark background, and then, or you can do vice versa, you know. Well, it's kind of hard to cover the page, but maybe if you put gesso down first, just as a base, and then paint like a lighter color on top, that might help cover the background. And then you could do darker stencils on top, just to contrast. Okay, let's see. Oh, see, now that's kind of cool. Okay. And okay, I'm gonna do the crackling campfire. Okay, I'm gonna do the crackling campfire. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna put a little bit of water on it. And I don't use these colors as much as I should, so I'm glad I'm using them. And I mean, they shouldn't definitely be empty. There we go. So it's just kind of like a silhouette, you know, happening. I should have waited for it to dry, but you get the gist. That's kind of cool. So that's one thing you could do on top of it. So we got another. So we did the Mod Podge luster gloss with the baby powder. I don't think it turned out too cool, so I would say no, or add more baby powder maybe, and that might help, but you could still see the shine in it. And the acrylic paint on top, and then we do the gesso stenciling and some inking on top. It worked great. I think that looks great. And let me go let this dry and I'll go grab the next one. This one is the clear gesso. So this is our clear gesso mix here that we did. And with the glue, water, and the baby powder. And then I put a little bit of baby powder on top here, which is obviously going to just come off. So I don't even think that. No, I don't think it made a difference. I don't think so. No. But you could see, and I had someone in the other comments of the link I'm going to put down below for you guys for the other one that I did, is the reason you can see the shininess on the dark parts, I guess, is because it won't, the gesso and the baby powder, like, it won't adhere to it because it's just too dark, I guess. I'm not quite sure, but I think that looks kind of cool. It kind of gives it a neat, let's see what you guys are seeing here. It just gives it a neat effect. You could see. Isn't that kind of cool? So I guess the dark images don't really adhere, it doesn't adhere to it. So, but I think that is kind of a neat effect to it. Yeah. And then these are fun. I mean, you can take these and cut them out and glue them on a manila folder or something sturdier, and you can make pockets with them. You can make, you know, belly bands. You could just incorporate these into a signature and have it into a signature. So, I mean, there's so many different things you could do. And I think this is a cool effect. So, yeah, the clear gesso for sure. I just think it turned out really neat. Okay, I'll go grab the other one. This is the nail polish remover one that we took the nail polish and the t-shirt or an old rag and took off a lot of the color. So that's kind of fun. And then just leave a little bit in the background. And I think let's go ahead and let's do another stencil on top. And this one is Think Positive, Be Positive. I don't think all the wording is going to fit on here, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this in a time lapse, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so this turned out really cool. You can see it on there. So that's fun. So you could take the nail polish remover and just take the background off stuff and do some stenciling or stamping or just different fun little things to incorporate. And I want to show you guys this real quick. Since I went ahead and got that and there's paint on it, I wanted to transfer it over here. Just because I don't like to waste the paint. And I think this is a fun picture. And it's all going to be backwards, but it's kind of fun. See, I like using this kind of stuff in my signatures and my journals and stuff. It just makes people look at it different and go, what? And then they have to figure it out. Little interest pages. Let's make sure it's stuck down there. And then just pull it straight up. Oh, I think I waited too long for the paint to dry, but that's kind of cool looking though. You can see a lot of it. So that's fun to do, is to, you know, take your stencils after you use them and then blot them onto something else. So that's kind of fun. Okay, so I'm going to let this go dry, but I think that turned out great. So that's a great idea with the nail polish remover. And we'll go to the next one. This is the Mod Podge with the baby powder and a napkin over the top. And I think it turned out great. See how you can see through it, and it just looks really cool and like kind of wrinkly. That's why I like the wrinkles in it. I think it looks really nice. And I wanted to show you guys on the one that I did on the other video on how to take the shine out of magazines and book pages. That'll be the link below. This is how I did this one without the baby powder. This is just Mod Podge with the napkin over the top. And I think, just to compare here, I mean, I'll look in the camera with you guys, but they look pretty darn similar. And see how it does? It's so pretty. I mean, isn't that cool? It's just so neat. And it's just like got a cool leathery like feel to it. And another thing you could do here to kind of vintage it up is, if that's the word, we're gonna vintage it up, is you could take a vintage photo and just go like this. And just kind of, you could just lightly, I might have to spray it, just kind of go like that with it, and just lightly go across the bumps and see how it picks up the, and it just looks like it's antiquing it, you know. So you take your inks and do that. And just do it lightly over it. And it catches all those bumps and divots and all that stuff. And it just kind of, it brings it to life. Like, I think it looks so cool. So you can see, I think that turned out really neat. So yeah, so this is definitely a thumbs up. Even with the baby powder, the Mod Podge with the baby powder seems to work, so that's a thumbs up. I mean, it's not cloudy or nothing. So I like that. All right, so I'm gonna finish this up and we will go move on to the last one. Okay, so this was the tea bags, tissue paper, and pattern paper that I put on this one. And I used the glue water baby powder solution to put it on. And I think it turned out great. What do you guys think? I mean, that is just neat by itself. Just to do a little trimming around it or leave, you know, leave the edges. And I think it turned out great. But now, just to add a little more interest and depth to it, we could do a little stamping. I'll do this. I'm just using the black soot, doing a little spray here. And just do some fun stamping on it. I mean, I got this huge butterfly, which is cool. You just do like part of it. Oh, so wherever you want to put it. Oops, I got it on my table. Just don't put it on your table. Okay. Yeah. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to go through and just do some fun stamping, and then we can see the end result. All stamped, and I think it turned out pretty cool. Just made it some fun interest on there to look at. And this would make a great signature, you know, in one of your journals, or you can even cut out sections of it and use it like as a master board and, you know, put it on manila envelope and or manila folders and just, you know, some cardstock on the back or something just to make it secure. And you could do it with pockets and side tucks and belly bands and all kinds of different things. And it uses up a lot of your scraps, so that's fun. So I hope you guys found this video inspirational and got your creative juices flowing. And if you could please leave a comment in the bottom and let me know which one was your favorite, that would be great. And keep on crafting, guys.